Where am I? I'm trapped in the void. There I am. Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to episode 4 of the Parasocial Pals podcast. The only podcast with the strength of will to ask, why does Kirk keep talking to women? I'm your host, Papa Strell. With me, as always, is my co-host, Nick. How you doing today, Nick?
Hello. I just did a bunch of Christmas shopping.
Hell
Oh, my
yeah.
wallet's hurting.
Physical Christmas shopping? What is this, 1998?
Yeah, well, I decided to get everybody snacks instead of, like real gifts. So
I mean, snacks
I have
are...
to actually physically procure those.
The right thing about snacks is that you know whether or not someone's used them. Probably.
Wow. Let's hope. Let's
Yeah.
hope they like weird Japanese rice cakes.
As long as it's not, I mean, personally, I'm fine with just about anything as long as it's not like super spicy or gingery. I had some ginger candy once when I was a young boy, and I don't like ginger anymore because of it.
I believe these are cheese flavored.
Ooh, cheese is one of the best flavors known to man, as far as I'm concerned.
You and the Italians.
God, we love our cheese. So, we are here today to discuss, as always, 2 episodes of Star Trek, and maybe a third thing. We kind of slacked on that last part, but we'll get to that in due time.
Hmm.
So, Nick, why don't you start us off? What was the first episode we watched last night?
First episode was What Are Little Girls Made Of? Uh, I guess to give a quick rundown of our plot important characters, we have Captain Kirk, Christine Chapel, the newest nurse on the Enterprise, according to this episode. I think we've seen her before, though.
Yeah, she seems to like
Uh,
float in and out.
we have Doctor, I believe his name's Roger Corby, something like
Yeah.
that. He looked like a Roger to me, and his various lab assistants, and then a mystery man who we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But those are all the relevant characters. Quick synopsis of the episode. Uh, Kirk, or the Enterprise, decides to check up on Dr. Roger Corby, who is the Louis Pasteur of the future, somehow.
Literally name drop Louis
Um,
Pasteur.
yeah. It turns out he's also Christine Chapel's ex-fiance. They have a complicated relationship, it seemed.
Yeah, they don't get into it much more
Um,
than they were engaged at some point.
so they drop down to the planet, which is apparently incredibly hostile. And almost immediately, the 2 red shirts that they bring with them get picked off by a mystery man who looks like Mr. X from Resident Evil, but like in drag.
I think when you put it like he's dressed like the big bad wolf trying to pretend to be grandma, I think that was a very apt
Yeah,
description.
essentially that. Yeah. So after like one of their guys goes missing, they are approached by one of Corby's lab assistants who bring them to Dr. Corby, who is very reticent to let them leave or report anything that he's discovered on this planet. Because as it turns out, on the planet, he has figured out how to make robot duplicates of people. And then he decides to clone Kirk. Kirk gets cloned again. Another evil Kirk in like the span of 2 weeks. Um, then Kirk does a lot of verbal jujitsu on uh, Corby's robots. Oh yeah, all of his lab assistants turn out to be robots, including the mysterious one that killed people. I guess that one's more ancient than the others. Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah.
And it all wraps up in Kirk giving a speech about how humanity is important, and then Corby reveals himself to be a robot and does a murder suicide when he realizes his evil plan is stupid. Oh yeah, his evil plan is to replace humanity with robots.
I can't see a flaw in the logic, really.
So the answer to the question, "What are little girls made of?" Circuits,
Also, like
silicon.
green Play-Doh, kind of.
Yeah. And I guess I didn't mention that he had like one lab assistant who's like just a banging chick who's now she's wearing overalls with no shirt.
Yeah, she's wearing overalls with no shirt, and goddamn. I've always been told that older television was more conservative, and after watching Star Trek, I think all those people were watching the wrong fucking TV shows, because holy shit.
So you can show a lot of leg and skin, but you can't have anyone kiss on screen.
I get, unless they're the same race, that's true.
Well, yeah. She did make out with like multiple dudes in this same episode.
Yeah, I know, right? The sluttiest
there was a
robot
bit
we've
of face
seen
eating
yet.
in this episode.
See it?
Yeah, I guess that's the quick synopsis of this episode. We can get more into detail now.
Yeah, so like you were saying, we had that nurse woman. You said something about her actress in real life. She was related to what's his name somehow?
So Christine Chapel is portrayed by Majel Barrett, who would later become Gene Roddenberry's wife.
Mm.
And then she becomes a recurring character in TNG. Not as Christine Chapel, but as Deanna Troy's mother.
That's right. That's the Deanna Troy thing as well. Now that's a character I know a little bit about, and I guess we'll get into that in the next couple years when we do TNG. But yeah, that's interesting. I guess now you would know off the top of your head, I hope. When did Gene Roddenberry pass? It was in the 2000s, right?
I don't know off the top of my head. No, it was actually pretty early on into TNG.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. Because I don't remember if he had any hand in TNG or not.
So he had a lot of influence on the first 2 seasons, which is why they're the bad ones.
All right, fair enough.
So yeah, he died in 1991.
91? Fuck. Okay, that's way earlier than I thought.
Mm-hmm. And I believe TNG starts in 89-ish.
Yeah, I think it was very late 80s. Once again, I got Gene Roddenberry confused with Ray Bradbury. Ray Bradbury passed in the 2000s, I believe.
So the thing about early TNG is that it's a lot like the Miyamoto thing where there are no NPCs but toads. He kind of had that level of creative control over Star Trek at that time.
Okay.
Or how J.K. Rowling just kind of decides that wizards poop on the floor now.
That's just no one man.
He was kind of in that
power.
phase of his creative era, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Or how George Lucas decided to have a jazzy dance number in The Phantom, or just insert that into Empire Strikes Back.
Perfectly good Empire Strikes Back. I fucking will never forgive him for that. Okay, yeah. So that was that was him at his most unhinged, it sounds.
Essentially, yes.
Well, I'm glad we're not there yet. One of the other things this episode showcased, which I'm very curious to see if we get more of, is a second Asian man. That was surprising to see.
I'm not sure if that was supposed to be Sulu and we just weren't supposed to notice.
Yeah, I'm curious how that looked on a fucking 50 years older television. But it was just for a second, just a guy walking in the background, probably what Sulu would have been doing had he been in that episode. Actually, very little of the main cast that you see here on this picture that I have up all the time in this episode. It's basically just Kirk and Spock and Ms. Roddenberry and some other people.
Yeah, I think they wanted to give a lot more screen time to Majel and to William Shatner.
I don't know if you have this in front of you or if you want to look it up. I know that there's a difference between the air date and the film date of some of these episodes. I wonder if this one was perhaps filmed earlier, which would explain why we're supposed to believe that woman, who I think we've definitely seen before, is new.
Let me see. What is the air date? We have What Are Little Girls Made Of? Air date was October 20th. It says chronologically it is I'm not sure how this chart is supposed to do it, but it's saying 158. So
okay, yeah. Oh well, I guess it's not super important either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Dr. Corby, they find him on the planet. Everyone kind of assumed he was going to be dead because it's like a barren planet, but he manages to communicate with them. And he only wants Kirk to come down. And, you know, any normal person sees that as a massive red flag. And I think Kirk did too. This is a very Kirk is a smart man and deserves to be captain episode.
Yeah.
He catches on to a lot of
He
stuff
does a
very
lot of
quickly.
does a lot of verbal jujitsu on robots.
Yeah, he fucking straight up annihilates them with the
He-
power of human
He
ingenuity.
basically pulls the divide by zero error on them several times.
Yeah, on like multiple robots, just the dumbest robots you've ever seen. So yeah, when he finds out that his possibly ex-fiance, possibly still fiance, not really sure, doesn't really matter, is there, he says Kirk and her can come down, but that's it. And they beam down with some red shirts. And is this the first time we've seen two red shirts die? I feel like it is. Normally, at least so far, I feel like we've only seen red shirts like fuck up and cause problems. I feel like this is the first time we've seen them just straight up die.
Even before, I don't think they were specifically red-shirted guys doing that. Like the guy from what is it? The Naked Time. I think he was a blue shirt.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I could have sworn a couple episodes after that it was a yellow shirt. Maybe the one with the first double Kirk. So yeah, that was fun to get some memes going with them red shirts. Boy, did they not have names and do nothing except die.
Well, one of them might still be alive because they say that pit is bottomless.
That pit is bottomless. That's true. Even though the planet has a very finite fucking like mass and volume, the pit is bottomless. They don't know if he's dead. And robots don't kill
like
after
the
all.
Bottomless pit from the Stanley Parable.
Yeah, or fucking Gravity Falls. So yeah, then we get introduced to fucking Grandma Nosferatu. Fantastic character. And then the lady with a bunch of skin and boobs.
The funny thing is, like, what is it? The man trap? The monster from that looked great. The monster in this one looked like a dude in he looked like Michael Cera in the muscle suit.
Yeah. He had like a ton of makeup on his face to make it look like really sunken and shadowed. And again, maybe this is something where it looked better 50 years ago on a smaller television, but it just looked horrible.
It probably did look better back then, or at least more convincing to their sensibilities. But
yeah.
To us, it just looked like a
guy
with a lot of makeup on.
Yeah, dude with a bad makeup job who like fell into his grandma's closet and came out the other side a giant robot man.
I think another thing of the era was that they really needed colors that like popped.
Yeah, I think you're right. It just maybe it was just because it looked better on a smaller screen at the time. And I guess it's very different from the very low collared shirts that they have the Enterprise crew normally has.
Yeah, I couldn't say. Somebody's probably done a whole documentary on it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's much nerdier men than us who have delved into the costume design of Star Trek. Perhaps even women, who can say? That giant robot Nosferatu wasn't the only thing that looked like a grandma, though. Like fucking Dr. Corby's cave looked almost exactly like my grandma's kitchen, like down to the wood grain chairs and the little fucking wooden sideboard.
Yeah, they seem to have two sets in this episode. One was Asbestos Cave and also Grandma's Den.
Yeah, and it looked very similar to the asbestos caves we've seen previously, and I'm sure we'll continue to see. But this one was more brown colored, so it was less an asbestos cave and more a dirt asbestos cave.
My gut feeling says that it's the exact same cave. They just changed the lighting.
I think you're right. Yeah, there's probably a lot of work you can do with some lighting to make just like one particularly colored cave look like three different caves.
let me tell you, we're going to be seeing Vasquez rocks a lot.
I'm excited for that. Um, so yeah, then we get the reveal that Nosferatu bot is old and like an original robot, whereas Lady Bot, who was very quickly revealed to be a robot, was created by Dr.
I guess
Corby.
I glossed over, but apparently there were ancient aliens on this planet that Dr. Corby was uh, studying. I don't know what exactly Dr. Corby does.
Yeah,
Is
I
he a
was I
roboticist? Is he an archaeologist? Is he a they call him Louis Pasteur because he helped out with like biology stuff, but
yeah, I was gonna ask. It seemed like he was some sort of biologist, but he was doing like archaeology on this planet, and yeah, I don't think those aliens were alive, so he wasn't doing any sort of like um I'm just gonna say fucking the gorilla lady, but for space people. Um
I guess he's just like one of those Reed Richards level super scientists who just does everything.
yeah, he's just so good at science, he can do all the science all the time. But yeah, Kirk idolizes the man very much, which is why he's willing to go on this very dubious mission. Um, and then the first chance he gets, he just sexually assaults that lady bot. Just really
Yeah.
gives it to her.
I mean, at some point Corby makes her kiss him too. That was weird.
Yeah,
And then
there was
slaps
a
him.
lot of like HR violations in this episode.
And it's not even the worst
Not
this
even the
week.
fucking worst. And then of course afterwards we get naked Kirk on the pottery wheel. Uh,
That's right.
that was a
Part of
sight to
the
behold.
cloning process is to put a Play-Doh man onto one end of the mold and a naked man on the other end of the mold, and then you spin.
You spin them real fast. And it didn't hurt, even though it
Oh,
looked like it was
and then
spinning real fast.
you have your two assistant robots adjust the knobs.
Yeah, the very brightly colored blue, red, yellow, green knobs look like a fucking play school toy, but apparently this is how
Like
you clone
Nickelodeon
people.
ass science, yeah. So yeah, they make a creepy crawler version of Kirk who looks and acts exactly like him.
Yeah, but you got to do the body first, and then you got to do the mind. And this was sort of the first instance of Kirk's mental jujitsu.
He implants the suggestion of racism into his clone.
The doctor says very loudly, "All right, I'm going to copy his mind onto the robot." And Kirk's like, "Okay, I need to think really racist thoughts for the next 30 seconds." And I caught on to that. I was
William
like, "Wait, why is he
Crazy
saying
was
such racist shit?" Turns out
saying,
that was plot
I'm
relevant.
tired of your half-breed interference, something like that,
Yeah, I believe that was the line.
which later comes to as a signal to Spock that something is wrong on the planet.
Yeah, eventually, shortly after this, we learn Corby's true plan is to use the Enterprise to go to a planet that has people so that he can turn them into robots, because robots are so much better than people because they don't die and they can be programmed to not be evil, except when they're evil.
Yeah, he's trying to do like a Manchurian can. He's making snatchers basically.
He's making snatchers 100%. Um, and he sends Robo Kirk up to get information for reasons. And that's when he's confronted by Spock. And
Yeah, it's weird because like he like wilds out on Spock's with that racist thing, and then immediately after he's like, "What's wrong, Spock? You seem upset."
Spock, are you upset by my blatant racism? No, Captain. That very logical racism. But
Yeah, pretty much after that, Spock knows what's up, and I think that Kirkbot gets destroyed by the Ladybot because she mistakes him for Kirk.
yeah, so I got there's so much sexual assault, I got it all confused. The ladybot assaults Kirk first, and then later on, Kirk like gives her so much sex that it reprograms her. And then she like I think she thought that the robot Kirk was real Kirk, and she's like, "Yo, give me some more of that." And robot Kirk's like, "No, fuck you. That's illogical." So then she just kills robot Kirk because he wouldn't give her that D.
Yeah, and then she goes to Dr. Corby and is like, tell him she did her job. killing him.
Yeah. That part was a bit unclear to me who was tricking who. But it resulted in Kirk
we
Bot
missed the
being
part
killed.
where Kirk does mental jujitsu on the large Mr. X robot, where he convinces him that Corby is just like his old masters
Oh yeah, that's right. He
and needs
was.
to be destroyed.
Yeah, you can't.
Which nothing comes of that plan either,
Yeah,
because Corby has a delete button in his hand.
Yeah, and just deletes Nosferatu bots. But again, Kirk's got his finger in many pies, and in this case, the pies are all robots. So then Ladybot comes in and is like, "Yo, I killed Robo Kirk," and then real Kirk has to do some more mental jujitsu. Oh yeah, at some point we learned that Corby's actually a robot.
Yeah, I believe Kirk tries to get away from him, and he slams his hand against the asbestos, and it scrapes it, and it reveals that he's full of resistors.
Yeah, and he's trying to tell everyone like, no, it's okay. I'm a robot, but I'm a good robot. I'm one of the good robots, and making people robots is good.
I think he's trying to say that, like, I am the real Corby in a real Metal Sonic kind of way.
Yeah, it's very fucking not Amnesia, but that other one.
And Christine Chappell, who up till that point very much thought he was the real Corby and saw nothing wrong with him, was like, no, you're nothing like him. He had compassion.
Yeah, she was not very good at discerning human from robot, this woman.
Like, she was 100%, well, like 95% Team Corby all this way.
Yeah, she was willing to give him a lot of benefits of the doubt when he was like, yeah, no, I'm going to copy Kirk, and then like we're going to make humans copy into robots. It's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. And she's like,
but also she couldn't tell that Robot Kirk was Robot Kirk. So maybe she just can't tell robots from real people. Yeah, maybe she would have AI psychosis in our modern era.
She might, yeah. She very much she can't see robot faces. It's truly a
her Chat GPT Roger Corby husband.
But yeah, eventually, like you were saying, Kirk does some mental jujitsu to convince Corby that his plan is stupid, and he realizes that his plan is stupid, and suicides himself and the final Ladybot.
Yeah. And that's the episode, really.
That's pretty much the whole episode. They're like, hey, what happened to the doctor? And they're like, he was never there. And nobody asked any questions.
Have to end it on they always have to end it on an HR violation. So, like, Spock kind of confronts Kirk on the racism, and Kirk's like, I'll think of a better one next time.
Yeah. It's like, hey, remember when you called me that racial slur? And Kirk's like, I don't remember that. But if I did, I'd think of a better one next time.
I didn't do that, but if I did, you deserved it.
But if I did, then you got fucking burned. And then they all have a laugh and go to the ship's fucking chess room and play space chess or some shit. But yeah, that was
so how would you rank that one?
Definitely one of the higher ones, I'd say. It's very Kirk heavy. There's definitely a lot of Kirk I'm noticing. He's the Mary Sue.
Yeah.
But it's
a good Kirk episode, yeah.
It's a very good Kirk episode. I'm curious how many more fucking times we're going to clone Kirk in this show.
At least a couple, I think.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, overall it had, it dealt with some philosophical questions, kinda more so than like some episodes. It's not as
the idea of robots replacing humans has always been in the mind ever since the conception of robots.
Yeah.
Although I think the way the AI is replacing us now is both more banal and more horrifying than what the people of the 60s imagined.
Yeah, the robots they're replacing us with now don't even have like really nice boobs and fucking show them off. They're just like fucking chatbots. The worst. We really are in the worst fucking timeline.
For real.
But yeah, I think we'll get into the specifics after we talk about the next episode. Your personal favorite, so I understand it.
So I didn't remember the exact plot beats of this episode, but I did remember having a severe like negative feeling in my gut about Miri, and I was right.
I want you all to understand, every single time this episode title came up, it's like you spat it out of your fucking mouth.
Was I wrong too?
No, you weren't. You were 100%. You were the most correct you've ever been, perhaps. So yeah, this episode
I'm
was
correct pretty
Miri.
often, so.
So why don't you walk us
Yeah,
through Miri
so
real quick?
Miri. So our dramatis personae of Miri is we have Captain Kirk, we have Yeoman Rand, Spock and McCoy are there too, and most importantly, we have Miri. Miri is our guest character, who is a little girl. The basic plot of the episode is that they find a planet that is suspiciously like Earth. Never addressed why it's like Earth. It just happens to be an Earth that looks exactly like a post-apocalyptic 1960s. Um, they find a mutant who assaults them, and then they find a child, and they take in Miri, who tries to explain to them in her childlike way what happened on the planet. There was a war or something. And then they're assaulted by more children. And as it turns out, this is a planet that has been basically dead for 300 years, but a disease has caused the children to age much, much slower. And anyone who hits puberty becomes like a monster and then dies. So no adults. It's Planet of the Flies planet, uh, like Lord of the Flies planet. And there's a disgusting romance subplot between Miri and Captain Kirk that really ruins the entire episode.
It's
Um, yeah, the episode ends with them finding a cure and getting the children off the planet. There's not really any plot between there.
there's really so very not. So yeah, this is like you were saying, they find a planet just like Earth. I think they measure it, and like down to the fucking diameter and weight, it's the same planet, and it's never explained or expounded upon. Also, like the white goblin, the navigation goblin, is doing Uhura's job for some reason, and that's not explained. Uhura's not in this episode.
I feel like you need better legs than that if you're going to take over her job.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, they beam down to find out, hey, why does this planet look just like Earth? And are almost immediately attacked by the zombie man who talks like a child.
He's upset about his tricycle.
And Kirk proceeds to beat the shit out of this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, I mean, it's understandable. Like he just like barrels into McCoy and starts attacking him. And Kirk is like, all right, I got to kill this guy. And just fucking Rocky Balboa left, right, left hooks him.
Yeah, he's tossing this dude around like fucking Kiryu from Yakuza.
Yeah. So we get the Kirk violence, the obligatory Kirk violence out of the way pretty early in this one. And then it's revealed the person seems to have childlike mental capacity and then dies. He has a seizure, as the doctor is so good at stating the fucking obvious.
I believe McCoy uses his gadget to determine that the thing aged like 100 years in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, in the matter of seconds or something like that.
Not that we see that happening.
Yeah, you just got to take McCoy's
that's how they
word for
explain
it.
it.
So yeah, then they go to explore the planet to find out what the fuck is up. And this was the thing that like I kept fighting with because time is an illusion. Like they're saying, oh, this is like the 1960s. And I'm like, okay, well, the show takes place in the 70s. So this is only like 10 years ago. And then I keep forgetting, no, this is a space show. The 1970s were like 200 fucking years ago.
Yes, it would have been contemporary to the people watching the show.
Yeah. And that was the part that kept throwing me because I was like, what do you mean hundreds of years? It's only been 10. Oh, yeah, this isn't like I needed a fucking reminder on the screen of what fucking year it was the whole time. But, you know, that's just what happens when you watch a 50-year-old show that is supposed to be contemporary, but also the future.
Yeah. The retro future.
The retro
Star Trek.
future. But yeah, eventually they find Miri, a child who is at first very afraid of them. Because they are grups, as they call them.
Yes.
And Grups are bad and evil and violent, and they're not like the kids.
Who
But
are evil and bad and violent, but
in different, fun, comical ways.
Yes, rated E for comic mischief.
You can put duck tits in a G-rated movie. Anything's possible. But yeah, the girl Miri eventually warms up to them and starts telling them about what happened, and then establishes a bond with Kirk that no one approves of. Nobody in the show, nobody in real life. It really is not good.
I need to know who wrote this episode.
It was a name that I don't recall seeing before.
Who wrote this episode?
But while you
Written
look
by
that up.
Adrian Spies.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Adrian Spies. What else has he done?
Let me backtrace this fucking guy.
Mostly a lot of like. He's done one episode of a lot of like 70s, 60s TV shows.
Interesting. Gun for hire.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try and find some of
It
those.
looks like he's mostly a TV writer. I can see why they didn't keep him on for more than one episode a lot of the time.
But yeah, so Miri develops a fondness for Kirk, and Kirk recognizes and exploits this in a very disgusting way.
Every time the camera is on her, the music starts swelling in a very romantic way. Hold on one second.
And yeah, at first it seems like Kirk is developing into a father figure for Miri. That's what I thought at first. But yeah, then the musical backing every single time they're on screen shades it in a different light, and it's uncomfortable. Something else I noticed. So I have seen a lot of other things parody Star Trek throughout my time. And this episode started to bring back memories of, and I don't remember the season or even name of the episode, an episode of South Park where all of the kids accuse their parents of molesting them, as they say, and get all the parents kicked out of town. And then the couple come through and they start talking about like, oh yeah, the parents in the before time. And I'm like, wait, this is the same. I originally thought that was a parody of Mad Max, of Beyond Thunderdome. Come to turn out, that seems to have been, at least in part, a parody of this episode of Star Trek.
I think the before time was a thing in Mad Max, but it was also probably stolen from Star Trek.
Yeah.
As most things are.
I think specifically,
it all filters down.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Beyond Thunderdome. But I don't believe that was like a society of children, was it?
I think at some point Mad Max does encounter like a group of children who talk about the before time.
Huh. Well, maybe everybody's just copying everything and I don't know shit. But anyway, yeah.
Maybe we gotta watch Mad Max someday.
Maybe we gotta watch Beyond Thunderdome next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they go to a hospital to try and figure out what's going on with everything. Do they discover the blue stuff on Kirk? I think they discover that before the hospital, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they do. And then Miri's like, no, you're just like them. You're gonna turn evil just like them. But they convince her to take them to a hospital so they can try and figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, the Enterprise is like, hey, should we send some people down there? And they're like, no, there's some sort of disease. We don't want anyone else getting diseased.
Yeah, Spock is immune to the disease because he's a green-blooded freak.
Literal words out of McCoy's mouth. Fucking racism abound.
Spock kind of gets it when you're the only ethnic guy in a group of white friends.
He does. He takes it on the chin pretty well. He fucks with McCoy quite a bit this episode. Hey, why are you using that shitty old ass microscope? So yeah, they try to science their way out of the problem. And they're able to get some more information. They're able to get some more equipment from the Enterprise. And at this point, the other group of kids sort of come into the light of the show, and we get a smash cut to them. And
We get
holy
bizarrely
shit.
loud audio of them going yang, 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 yang.
Yeah, before that, we'd only heard them.
Oh, yeah, we haven't mentioned they brought 2 red shirts with them. They don't matter.
They don't matter, and I also think they don't die, surprisingly.
I don't think they die either. They don't ever get the disease as we see it.
Yeah.
They're just there.
Yeah, they're just kind of there.
They're there to fill camera space.
They are.
Basically.
And they're security guards who Spock is like second in command, but also the security officer, because he just does all the work, basically. But yeah, eventually go ahead.
Spock's role in this episode is really just to be like the captain.
Pretty much.
Kirk's too busy flirting with children.
Kirk's too busy fucking doing whatever with children. It's really unclear how old that girl is supposed to be. Definitely in her teens, maybe 13. God, she better not have been 12.
She's played by Kim Darby, who was. See, she was born in 1947, and she was in Star Trek in, what is this? This would have been 68.
I want to say 68, 69, maybe.
So,
is that for, was she like 21?
68. 19. Maybe she was doing a little Tom Holland and playing a much younger person than she actually was.
She definitely didn't look in her fucking 20s.
Apparently she was married in 1968.
What the fuck? So maybe that looked less gross. I don't know.
What they said in the episode is that the disease starts to affect you as soon as you start hitting puberty, which implies that she was prepubescent.
That does imply that she was pre or perhaps mid-pubescent.
Like just approaching pubescence.
Yeah. And she definitely looked like it. She did not look like a 35-year-old man playing a 20-year-old high school student.
She looked like a 13-year-old girl, basically.
I'm curious if maybe she was just like standing on her knees a lot. I don't remember seeing her legs. I'm curious, or maybe she was just particularly short. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we smash cut to the other children. And they did a fucking fantastic job when they said, we got a casting call. We need kids who look like they've been living in a fucking bomb shelter for the last 20 years. Holy shit, did they hit the jackpot on those?
Yeah. I recall we were very mean to one particular child who looked like the spawn of a Cro-Magnon.
He looked like straight up giant eyebrows, fucked up teeth and jaw. I feel a little bit bad for being mean to this kid, but also that kid is probably like 80 and probably doesn't have more money than me because he was probably paid like $20 in a Tootsie Pop at the time.
Well, the way they had that kid acting, he was like Bam Bam from the Flintstones.
Yeah, he was also very childlike, despite his age, kind of regressed from that.
Being one of the ganglier kids.
Yeah, he was very long and lanky, but acting like a 6-year-old, maybe even younger.
Also, the oldest leader of the children, he looked a little bit like a John C. Reilly.
Yeah, he looked like John C. Reilly with like a scrunched up nose.
Weirdly balding for like a 13-year-old.
Definitely a 14 going on 40 look to him.
Very punchable face.
His jacket made him look like he just got off the set of Red Dawn.
Yeah.
I'm very curious if that kid was in any other stuff, perhaps even Red Dawn.
I don't know. I don't believe the episode lists who he was. I'm sure there's some Star Trek historian who's found him and followed his descent into sadness.
His exploits. But yeah, the kids just decide that they want to fuck with the Grups because that's all they know how to do. And
Yeah, they just want to, yell at them and beat them and hurt them as the Grups did to
as the
them.
Grups did to them. And the best way to do that is to lure them out of their science lab so they can steal their communicators. And
Yeah, so they steal the cell phones, and I guess they need those real bad.
yeah, it's
I
another
don't think it's
thing.
ever explained why that's needed.
Well, it's another thing that makes more sense in a 70s mindset of like computers are supposed to be a big bulky thing. They can send down like a microscope and lab equipment, but they can't send them a computer to analyze shit. So they send all of their scientific findings up to the Enterprise, and then they run calculations on their computers or something, and then communicate those results back down to them. So without the communicators, they don't have access to the computers, so they can't do science as good.
Don't worry, Andrew. Now that RAM is super expensive, we're going back to that.
God, am I gonna have to call up a fucking a AI chatbot to do my fucking taxes for me because my computer's too stupid to do them?
It's all going to be cloud computing.
Yeah.
Like everything your computer does will be through another computer that someone else owns.
Yeah, remember when they promised that for Xbox? How did that end up?
Poorly, but they don't care.
They super don't care. They barely exist anymore. Anyway, Kirk gets to do some acting, and of course, by acting, I mean yelling very loudly. Really a tour de force as far as Kirk is concerned this episode. A little bit of punching, a little bit of acting, a little bit of flirting with underage girls. Just the trifecta, the triple threat.
Gets to be both flavors of daddy in this episode.
Yeah, fucking. Oh, we also get a little bit of Yeoman Rand being like, I always wanted you to look at my legs. Well, look at them now. And she's got the disease. At some point, everyone finds out that they've got the disease, which is, it shows as like blue marks on their skin.
Yeah, McCoy gets pretty nasty with Spock, and Spock's like, geez, why are you so pissed off? You're only dying.
Yeah, you're just dying of this fucking random magic disease that I don't have. He apparently is a carrier, so he can't go back up to the Enterprise like the rest of them, but he's not affected by the disease mentally or physically in any way. And again, this is the same Spock.
One of the lines is like, hey, I can't go back to the ship, but I would like to go back to the ship.
I would like to go back to the ship. So if you could science the fuck out of this, remember, this is the same Spock who like figured out a brand new way to combine dark matter to make time travel juice. But everyone else, the Doctor needs to figure out this disease stuff because he can't do that. He's only a fucking fuel injector scientist.
Well, he's not Dr. Corby. He can't do everything.
I guess that's true. He's no Louis Pasteur of the future.
Although I believe as the Star Trek canon goes on, Spock's power scaling will increase.
That's good. Yeah. That at least from some of my understandings of like the later seasons and series where they reference Spock, they held in high regard in the future of Star Trek.
They really glaze Spock. He's yeah, he's more of a Mary Sue than Kirk is, really.
That's kind of funny watching this, but I can see over time where that could shift. Because I'm curious. I like, do they talk about Kirk much in later seasons at all? Like, oh man, that Captain Kirk sure was the greatest fucking pilot Starfleet ever had.
They don't usually talk about Kirk, but he is in one of the Generations movies.
Yeah, I know he shows up in one of those. One day we'll get to movies.
But I believe Spock is the only one who actually shows up in like TNG.
Oh, really? Oh, that'll be fun. So yeah, the kids fuck with the adults, then they have to go get their shit back or else they'll die. And Kirk has to try and explain to a bunch of angry children that he's trying to help them. And they have a little kangaroo court where he gets beaten over the head by the fucking Cro-Magnon child with a wrench.
Well, like, So one of the childs like approaches him with a baseball bat, and he just like tosses him, and then he gets ganged up on immediately.
Yeah, he taught that Cro-Magnon kid. He tosses around quite a bit in that episode. Like, I'm pretty sure that kid fell on his ass a few times. I think he was
No,
maybe a little rougher than he should have been.
they would have had a stunt actor do that these days.
Yeah, exactly. But these are children. They don't have rights in the 70s,
Or
probably.
they would have shaved a chimpanzee or something. But
Oh, yeah, no, that'd be much more ethical. You're correct.
honestly, in my opinion, what Kirk should have done was just punch that leader kid in the face immediately
I know,
and
just
establish dominance.
like, yeah, punch him in the face. I'm your fucking leader now. Give me my shit back or I'll punch all of you too. Like, kids would understand that pretty well, I think.
Can't show weakness in front of children.
You cannot show weakness in front of the children. They'll eat you alive.
Because like he kind of approaches it in a Seymour Skinner kind of way. Doesn't really work.
Yeah, he tries to explain everything logically, and they're like, you know, they're diseased children who only lived with fucking horrible, violent adults, so they don't take to any of that. But eventually they do because the episode needs to end.
Yeah, I guess we haven't really discussed it, but the disease seems to keep the children in a perpetual childlike state of mind because, as I understand it, like a person like Andy Milonakis does mature and grow despite never having hit puberty. These kids have been alive for like 300 years, but they appear to still be mentally children.
Yeah, and you know, even though they don't have adults around because all the adults died immediately, like, yeah, you would think that they would learn and grow just by nature of being around for hundreds of years, but they don't. It's just sort of hand wave as, the disease keeps them mentally kids too.
I mean, you could pretty easily hand wave and say that like they don't form memories the same way a normal person does.
That sounds like way
they
too
have no
much
sense of
science
time.
talk.
Yeah, that's how they would do it in like later seasons of TNG or whatever.
Yeah,
Jordy would care a little more.
Use a few more spicy words, and
then Beverly would do a brain scan and whatever.
Yeah. But yeah,
for the purpose of this, they needed the kids to be kids. They needed a planet with no adults.
Yeah, planet with no adults and some hostile kids, and that they did that. Kirk eventually gets through to them. They get their shit back. McCoy just, and I guess you could blame the disease on this because the disease affects your mental faculties and stuff. But McCoy's like, all right, we got this cure. It's either going to cure us or fucking kill us, and we need the Enterprise to tell us which one it is. And he starts getting antsy because Kirk is still trying to get their stuff back. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to inject myself with it. Despite Spock telling him that that's fucking stupid. But then it turns out that it was the cure. So it cured McCoy and there was no problem. They didn't really even need the communicators, it turns out.
Oh, so I'm reading here on the Wikipedia article for Miri.
Mm-hmm.
Several of the children were the relatives of the cast and crew of Star Trek.
That makes sense.
William Shatner's daughters were in there.
Oh shit! I didn't know he had
Grace
two
Lee
kids
Whitney,
at the time.
Who is Yeoman Rand's son was in there.
Oh wow!
Gene Roddenberry's daughters were in there.
Maybe that was one of the girls that Kirk was holding. Kirk was holding a bunch of kids randomly in that episode as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's how you get extra cheap child actors, is you just ask everybody on set, hey, who's got kids and wants them to be in a TV?
Apparently one of the kids got her SAG card thanks to this episode.
Oh yeah, that's not to go on too much of a tangent, but that there's a lot of horrible parents out there that will let their kids do anything on screen if it results in a SAG card.
That's very funny. But
I'm curious if all of them got it or only some of the kids got it. Did you need a speaking line to get a SAG card?
It said she played the blonde girl standing on the table in the schoolhouse. Between takes, her agent got her a line delivery during the scene, which led to getting a SAG card.
Yeah, that's it. So I think that is and has been a thing, is you need a speaking role in order to get a SAG card. So if you're just a face extra, you don't get shit. Maybe you get some shitty craft services and then you get out.
Okay, so you're not gonna believe this, but the older boy uh was apparently Michael J. Pollard. He was 27.
The fucking 14 going on 40?
Yeah.
No, fucking 27. Jesus Christ. What was his name again?
Michael J. Pollard.
I hope I'm spelling that correctly. Okay, yeah. So, not far off. So, yeah, this is what that kid looked like at the time. For those of you in the video portion of this here podcast. Obviously doesn't look like a child, but definitely, you know, like 14, maybe 15, but also definitely not 20 fucking 7. Jesus Christ.
I
What
think
did the
they just
fucking
like
70s
shot him
do
from
to
high
people?
up, and
Yeah, I think you're right.
Pollard was short, 5 feet 6 inches,
Oh, wow. Yeah, short king.
which facilitated getting youthful roles into his 30s.
Into his 30s, Jesus. He's definitely got that trademark nose. I wonder, is he still around? No, he
I
passed in
believe
2019.
he died in 2019.
That is a shame.
Yeah, but he's probably been in other things that we've seen.
Yeah, probably. I'll have to check that out one of these days as well.
He was in Dick Tracy.
Oh God, the fucking what
The
year?
1990s Dick Tracy.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was afraid you were gonna say. So yeah, all's well that ends well. They cure themselves, they cure the kids, they beam back up, they are going to repurpose those children somehow, and then we get our ending HR violation, don't we?
Yep. I don't. Does he kiss Mary? I don't think he ever actually kisses her.
Thank God I don't think he actually kisses her, but I think Spock or somebody remarks on like, oh yeah, you were pretty close with that Miri girl. And then Kirk is like, ha, I never get involved with older women. Like, Jesus,
gross.
fuck, it's disgusting. It really was. Like, by the end of that episode, I understand fully why you want nothing to do with this episode. And quite frankly, neither do I.
Like, all of the like interesting parts of the episode are just unsalvageable thanks to the fucking weird pedo shit.
Yeah, this would be a cool one for a future series. Perhaps if we could go back in time to the Next Generation for them to redo and make less bad.
Yeah. I mean, South Park did it.
Yeah, I guess South Park did it and made it less bad. That really is. We're just going to say that's this episode from here on. But
I mean, I think TNG kind of does it better when they turn the fucking crew into kids for one episode.
Oh yeah, and fucking Picard becomes an insufferable British child.
He becomes a little Harry Potter.
He
Yeah,
does. He fucking wishes. Well.
But yeah, the Kirk Miri relationship is very weird, and I like looking it up. Nobody seems to have a problem with it on the internet. Like, none of the reviews of the episode I see are like, "Hey, this was weird."
I don't have or want to extend any potential explanations to that.
Maybe they just didn't read into it as much as I did. Like, haha, she has a little crush, but like Kirk hugs her really tightly.
Yeah.
And like the way that she's framed in every shot is very like romantic.
Yeah, there's always flutes or violins or some sort of music playing, and she gets super jealous of Yeoman Rand for a second, which that kind of leads to some betrayal, but
like the gross part isn't like a little girl having a crush as much as like Kirk he weirdly reciprocates.
Yeah, like at first it's very one-sided.
The
but
gaze of the camera seems to portray her as a love interest.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Kirk catches on and does exploit that for his own gain. Knowing full well what the fuck he is doing. Yeah, it's just very gross.
But A Planet of Lord of the Flies is a cool idea. Too bad they made it weird.
Yeah, too bad they wrecked it with all of that stuff. So, going to the episode list, I think we can firmly put Miri on the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that is. I'd much prefer Mud's women over Miri. At least that was consensual.
Which is surprising considering it's about like selling women to,
yeah, like kind of space prostitution in a
selling
way.
women as Russian brides.
Yeah. At least one of them, it seemed like they were all into it, aside from the drug use.
Somehow worse than the episode that labeled women as cargo.
Yeah.
And what are little girls made of?
What are little girls made of?
Oh, I might put that one somewhere around Enemy Within.
That's what I'm thinking as well. I think... It's definitely not better than Man Trap.
Yeah.
Do we think it's better than Enemy Within? I think I would say it's definitely better than Naked Time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, then do we think it's better than Enemy Within? I
think Enemy Within was a more entertaining piece of media to watch.
I agree. Yeah, they did a lot more. They did a lot more with the double Kirk in Enemy Within. Mm-hmm. And even though it was less about humanity and more about Kirk himself,
I mean, if we're rating it by hot women, it would be What Are Little Girls Made Of?
If we're rating it by what?
By the hotness of the women available?
Oh yeah, ain't that the fucking truth? That'd be way at the top. I think, yeah, I think I'm fine rating this underneath Enemy Within. I think you're right. Enemy Within was a more entertaining episode. And even if this is supposed to be like a science vessel exploring the depths of human fucking travesty sometimes, I think just the amount of introspection we got on Kirk is worth putting it on top.
Yeah. I also think Enemy Within had more to say about the nature of humanity, whereas...
I guess you're right. Yeah, they just sort of used Kirk as a framing device.
What Are Little Girls Made Of is more about, I don't know, the need for humanity? Like...
Yeah, just the need for humanity and the
element of our biological being.
Yeah, the inherent inability to copy it, despite what you may believe.
Yeah.
Which, if I could sit down every fucking AI tech bro and make them watch that, I doubt they'd learn anything, but it'd make me feel better.
They would just try to rebuild the lady.
They'd just try to rebuild the Torment Nexus. You're right. That's all it would ever be. All right. So, yeah, I think that's our top 8. We've almost got a top 10. We may very well have a top 10 by the end of this year.
Oh, boy. Oh, baby.
And then, yeah, we didn't...
Yeah, coming up next,
what do we got?
We have Dagger of the Mind and the Corbomite Maneuver.
Ooh.
Both of which I think are pretty good, actually.
Dagger of the Mind, I feel like, is a title I've heard, but I don't know anything about it, so I'm excited.
That might be a Shakespeare quote. They love quoting Shakespeare in episode titles.
That makes sense. I'm also just a fucking Luddite who's never read Shakespeare except when I had a gun to my head, so that makes sense.
Yes. But I remember Corbomite Maneuver more clearly than Dagger of the Mind.
Okay.
But that one is also quite entertaining.
Ooh, that'll be good then. Oh, fuck, we're going to have to find something shitty to pair it with if that's the case.
Oh, we won't have a problem with that. Let's see. And for our third thing, we didn't really do anything particular for our third thing.
Yeah, our third thing was...
Our third thing was Domino's Pizza.
Domino's Pizza, baby. A little bit of video gaming. We played. I continue to forget the name of that mystery game we played.
A sci-fi detective game called Between Horizon.
Between Horizon. Yeah, that's right. We haven't finished it yet, but so far an interesting start. It takes place on a spaceship on a long journey. Not too dissimilar from Star Trek, I'd say.
It's a pretty basic noirish setup, but it's set on a spaceship, and they use that to full effect. Like
Yeah.
the situations are very sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the puzzles boil down to find the discrepancy in our files.
Yeah, basically look at the information, figure out which one's lying to you. But like I said, we're only the first chapter in. Hopefully that gets more complex. I think it will. We haven't even unlocked the entire ship yet, so who knows?
And there is a very good space cat.
There is a very good space cat. You can pet the space cat because you need to do that in video games these days.
But I don't know. Maybe tune in next week and we'll have a more harsh opinion on it.
Yeah, we'll probably have, we'll definitely have something to say. That's fine. My wife and I need to go do a little bit of shopping ourselves anyway, so we'll cut this off a bit earlier, but hey, we got an hour's worth of content, right?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty
Nobody
good.
can complain about free content.
Yeah. Fucking, I better not hear a single complaint. Yeah, with that.
You can complain. Just do it in the comments below.
Yeah, you know what? If you want to
and subscribe button.
complain, go ahead and comment on the YouTube video that'll be posted
If
shortly.
you want to defend Captain Kirk hitting on a little girl, please let us know in the comments.
Please tell us how the episode is the peak of cinema and Kirk's fucking interactions with that apparently 21-year-old girl were perfectly objectively understandable.
I'm looking at you, Zach Hanlon of the AV Club, who gave the episode an A- rating.
A-? Jesus fuck.
So if you're out there, Zach, defend yourself.
Yeah, fucking find us, get on those comments, and tell us why we're the ones who are wrong. But yeah, other than that, I think that's going to do it for the podcast. Any closing words for everybody out there?
I guess we found out what little girls are made of.
Yeah, it's like flutes and weird hormones and older men doing things they shouldn't.
So I guess my advice to everyone is stay away from bots and stay away from little girls.
Yeah, stay away from bots, little girls, and anyone named James T. Kirk. Good night, everybody.
Good night.